Good morning, Junior 6. Now we have a new lesson, lesson 2 in unit 2, which is called the measuring temperature. The measuring temperature. You have learned in the previous lesson that the temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness of an object. The temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness of an object. So, what is the importance of the measuring temperature? Or what is the function to measure the temperature? Number 1, helping us to know our body's temperature. If you measure the temperature, so it will help you to know our body or your body temperatures, your body's temperature. Number 2, help us to know the weather temperature. Help us to know the weather temperature, which affects our life activity, Number 3, there are some food industries that requires a certain temperature. There are some food industries that require a certain temperature, so we have to measure the temperature. But we can't depend on the sense of touch to detect the temperature. We can't depend on the sense of touch. We need a certain device to measure the temperature of the objects accurately. This object is called thermometer. Thermometer. So what is the thermometer? It is the device that used to measure the temperature. So, how does the thermometer work? The main idea of the thermometer or making thermometers is changing the volume of liquid by changing the temperature. Where the liquid expand by heating and contract by cooling. Expand means it will increase in its volume. The volume of the liquid will increase. This means expand by heating. And contract by cooling means the volume of the liquid will decrease. So the main idea, this is an important point. The main idea of the making thermometers is changing the volume of the liquid by changing the temperature. The volume of the liquid will change if the temperature changes. Where the liquids expand by heating and contract by cooling. The types of the thermometers. There are many types of thermometers, but in this lesson we will study or we will know 2 types only, which are medical thermometer and Celsius thermometer. Medical thermometer and Celsius thermometer. The medical thermometer or clinical thermometer have the same meaning, clinical or medical. The same meaning, medical thermometer or clinical thermometer. The medical thermometer used to measure the temperature of the human body. It's the thermometer that is used to measure the temperature of the human body. But the Celsius thermometer, it is the thermometer that is used to measure the temperature of the liquids. The Celsius thermometer used to measure the temperature of liquids, but the medical or clinical used to measure the temperature of the human body. So we have two types of thermometers, which are medical and Celsius. Medical measure the temperature of the human body, but the Celsius measure the temperature of liquids. Let's start with the medical thermometer or clinical thermometer. Its structure, it consists of 4 parts. The medical thermometer consists of 4 parts. Number 1, thick glass tube. It consists of transparent, thick glass tube. It's the thick tube made of transparent glass. The thick glass tube, it's the thick tube made of the transparent glass. Number 2, the capillary tube. Capillary tube, it's very thin tube that is closed from one of its end. Capillary tube, it's a very thin tube closed from one of its end. Number 3, mercury bulb. Mercury bulb. It's the bulb filled with mercury, filled with the liquid here. So the liquid in the medical thermometer is the mercury. So the mercury bulb is the bulb filled with mercury and connected to the other end of the capillary tube. Number 4, there is a constriction. Number 4, constriction. There is a constriction in the capillary tube above the mercury bulb. So there are 4 parts of the medical thermometer, or the medical thermometer consists of 4 parts. Number 1, transparent thick glass tube. Number 2, capillary tube. Number 3, mercury bulb. And number 4, there is a constriction. So what is the function of the constriction in the capillary tube? The constriction, it prevents the mercury from going back the bulb quickly. It prevents the mercury from returning back or going back to the bulb quickly in order to read the measurement easily. In order to read the measurement easily. The scale or the graduation of the medical thermometer. The scale of the medical thermometer starts from 35 Celsius degree to 42 Celsius degree. And each degree is divided into 10 parts. Each degree is divided into 10 parts. So each part equal 1 over 10 degree. So each part equals what? 1 over 10 degree. So how to use the medical thermometer? How to use the medical thermometer to measure your body temperature? There are some steps you have to know them. Number one, or first, sterilize the medical thermometer. You have to sterilize the medical thermometer by using the ethyl alcohol. Number two, dry the thermometer very well using a tissue paper, and then shake the thermometer well. Until the mercury goes back or returns back to the mercury bulb. So you have to sterilize the medical thermometer by using the ethyl alcohol. Then dry it, then shake it until the mercury returns back to the bulb. After that, put the thermometer under your tongue for a minute. Then get the thermometer out from your mouth. Then record the temperature reading. Finally, you have to sterilize the thermometer by using the ethyl alcohol and then put it in its box. So we have to sterilize the medical thermometer by using the ethyl alcohol and shake it before you use it to force the mercury go back to the bulb. The normal temperature of the healthy person is 37 Celsius degree. The normal temperature of a healthy person is 37. And don't seize the thermometer firmly with your teeth in order to not be broken. Why don't seize the thermometer firmly? Because the mercury is a toxic substance. Now, or the question now is give reason. Number one, we must shake the medical thermometer well before using. Why we must shake the medical thermometer well before using? Yes, to force the mercury goes back to the mercury bulb. Number two, the medical thermometer must be kept out the reach of children. Why? Because the mercury inside the thermometer is a toxic substance. Because the mercury inside the thermometer is a toxic substance. So in order to be broken, so the mercury is a toxic substance or poisonous substance. This is the mercury. If the medical thermometer is broken, this is the mercury, the liquid mercury. Now let's start with the second type of the thermometer, which is called the Celsius thermometer. What is the Celsius thermometer? It's used to measure the temperature of liquids. Yes. The medical thermometer used to measure the temperature of the human body, but the Celsius thermometer used to measure the temperature of liquids. It consists of three main parts. Which are, number one, thick glass tube or transparent thick glass tube. It's a thick tube made of transparent glass. And number two, the capillary tube, like the medical thermometer, The capillary tube, it's a very thin tube that is closed from one of its ends. And the last part is the mercury bulb, and it's the bulb filled with mercury and connected to the other end of the capillary tube. There is no constriction in the Celsius thermometer, but in the medical thermometer there is a constriction, but there is no constriction in the Celsius thermometer. So it's the difference between the medical and the Celsius. The medical thermometer had a constriction, but the Celsius thermometer doesn't have a constriction. So what is the function of constriction? Again, remind me. Yes, the function of the constriction, it prevents the mercury from returning back to the bulb quickly to read the measurement easily. But the Celsius thermometer, there is no constriction. It doesn't have a constriction. The scale of the Celsius thermometer. The scale of the Celsius thermometer, it starts from 0 Celsius degree to 100 Celsius degree. Because there is a scientist which called Andrew Celsius who created the Celsius scale. Andrew Celsius considered the 0 Celsius degree as it's the melting point of ice. It's the melting point of ice. So the ice will be changed from ice to water, from solid state to liquid state at 0 degree. And 100 Celsius degree, it's the boiling point of water. The water will be changed into water vapor, will be changed from liquid state to gaseous state at 100 Celsius degree. So he considered the 0 at the melting point of ice, and the 100 in the boiling point of water. So he made this scale of the Celsius thermometer that starts from 0 Celsius degree into 100 Celsius degree. And the scale is divided into 100 parts. The scale is divided into 100 parts, where each part equals 1 degree. But the scale of the of the medical thermometer, it starts from 35 to 42, and each degree is divided into 10 parts, so each part equals 1/10 degree. The question now gives reason. The medical thermometer can't be used to measure the temperature of boiling water. Why? Why the medical thermometer can't be used to measure the temperature of boiled water? Because the scale of the medical thermometer ranges from 35 to 42, while the temperature of the boiling water is 100 Celsius degree, so the medical thermometer will break. So we can't measure the temperature of the boiling water by using the medical thermometer, because it will break, because it will break, because it ranges from 35 to 42, but the temperature of boiling water is 100 Celsius degree. Now, or the question now, why the mercury is used to make the thermometer? Why the scientists take the mercury or use the mercury in making the thermometer? It's preferred in making thermometers. Why? Because the mercury, it's the liquid metal that can be seen easily. It's the liquid metals that can be seen easily through the thermometer glass. And the mercury, it's a good conductor of heat. So it expands and contracts by the temperature, by the changing of the temperature. Its volume will expand and contract while we change the temperature, so the volume of this liquid, of the mercury, will expand and contract. And it's the regular expanding material. It's a regular expanding material, which gives an accurate estimation. Because it's a regular expanding materials. Number 4, it doesn't stick to the walls of the capillary tube. And the last one, it remains in liquid state. Between minus 39 Celsius degree and 357 Celsius degree. And this gives a wide range of temperature measurement. So again, why the mercury is used or preferred in making thermometer? Because the mercury, it's liquid metal, can be seen easily. It's good conductor of heat. It's a regular expanding material. And it doesn't stick to the walls of the capillary tube. And it remains in liquid state between minus 39 Celsius degree and 357 Celsius degree. Let's solve this evaluation. Complete the following. Number 1, the scale of the medical thermometer starts from 35 to 42. Number 2, the watt thermometer is used to measure the temperature of liquids. Yes, the Celsius thermometer used to measure the temperature of liquids. The freezing point of water is 0 Celsius degree, while the boiling point of water is 100 Celsius degree. So let's recap. We have two types of thermometer, medical and Celsius. The medical thermometer used to measure the temperature of the human body, but the Celsius thermometer used to measure the temperature of liquids. The scale of the medical from 35 to 42, but the scale of the Celsius from 0 to 100. The function or the structure of the medical, it consists of thick glass tube, capillary tube, mercury bulb, and construction. But the structure of the Celsius, it consists of thick glass tube, capillary tube, and mercury bulb, and there is no construction in the Celsius thermometer.